Webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. So we're going to go through live order flow here. This is what we do every Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I'm the Bookmap lead educator here at Bookmap. Been trading for a variety of different markets and styles for about 15 years. Order flow specialist here at Bookmap. Yeah, you can reach me at our Discord channel, Bruce at Bookmap, and then look for the number 3993, and then also on my Twitter handle at Flow Order. Let's go through the risk disclosures, and then we'll jump into the market and go through many different things in here. General disclosure. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so one more thing I want to go over here is the blue jacket competition. You guys may have heard about this. So let me bring up the web page here. All right. Okay. So this is something we've been doing every month so far. So basically on the 10th of each month, you can enter this blue jacket competition. What you'll do is you'll create content, and the best content will be awarded to somebody, and they will get Bookmap Global Plus with stocks and futures data free for 3 months. Okay, it's a pretty nice offering, and you get the bragging rights of the blue jacket, etc. So if you're interested in this, let me put this into the chat for you. I think you'll find it very interesting. This is going to coincide also with the Bookmap Junior Academy and Bookmap Academy that will be starting up very soon. So exciting stuff with that. Let me put this into the chat here for you in YouTube. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Rob. All right. Yeah, so there's the blue jacket. So yeah, please check that out and sign up. You know, there's nothing to lose. There's only things to gain. Plus, what you're going to do is you're going to learn so much more about your own trading with Bookmap, so that you'll be able to better understand your own trading methodologies. So anyway, yeah, we're going to start off here a little differently today. We're going to look at the bigger picture here, and look at some interesting levels, and then we're going to jump down into Bookmap, and then look at the order flow. All right, so we have the daily over here on the right, the hourly in the middle, and the 15-minute on. I'm sorry, on the left, the daily; in the middle, the hourly; and on the 15-minute is on the right. Yeah, what we're looking at here for today, well, we had all sorts of data this week. We had FOMC and non-farm just this morning, and some interesting moves here. Earlier in the week, we were looking for this move above the swing up here. We got it, and then we were looking for the move back down below it. The next day on Tuesday, we got that, and we're looking for the momentum to the downside. This was pretty easy pickings, I thought, here for the move to the downside in the order flow, just based off of the daily chart, basically. And then looking for the move back down into the swing low here. Or somewhere maybe in here as well, as a possible stopping place. Took a few days. You can see even a nice big gap down into it here. Went below the swing, and we had our data this morning, and look at the move to the upside. All right, so now the data it was bullish or good. Let's put it that way. I don't know what that means anymore in this environment. It's just this might be, I'm not really sure what to make of it. The move to the upside here Very, very strong move. We're above yesterday's high, and we're seeing the momentum here. Where are we going on the higher time frames, and what levels do we want to take a look at in Bookmap? Okay, and then start to understand the order flow within Bookmap. All right, so let's take a look here. So we can see the action from yesterday. Okay, and then we have the gap down, and then we gapped up this morning, okay, at the cash open, and ran. Yeah, I would be looking for a bit of a slowdown up here, somewhere around up in here. I don't see it yet. I mean, that's just we're just seeing big green candles so far, but this is a level here of interest somewhere around this kind of 30. I thought it would be more like 30, 31, but it's come up to about 35 so far. If we get continued momentum, then I'm looking for 41.40 up here, the figure, for momentum to continue on up, right to where it dropped from. Well, this would be up here on the daily chart. Yeah, somewhere around here on the daily. So yeah, that's a possibility here. On the 15-minute chart, what do we have? Well, we can see the beautiful gap here, just beautiful island gap for those of you who like that kind of stuff. And we're going to cover this today in the order flow and what this means in here, because what we're seeing, or what this will mean in the order flow, is this gap down, this back and forth. Anyone who's anyone who's long in these areas here is really feeling the pain here, especially on that gap. And then anyone who's short in here, okay, on the daily below the swing here, anyone who's short is feeling the pain big time this morning. Okay, so maybe this move is just purely technical. If you follow the fundamentals it just doesn't make much sense in here. The data was good, and that usually the reaction has been that the data, when it's good data for employment, it means that there's more inflation, and the Fed is going to continue to raise rates, or at least not lower rates for quite a while. And that was also what we learned on Wednesday with the FOMC. All right, so what's going on in here? Well, this is where it really comes down to the order flow and the trading. All right, so let's look at Bookmap here, and let's get into it. All right, so what matters in here is the reaction of traders and their behavior to the news. All right, regardless of what it is, and if it doesn't make sense or whatever, we go with what the traders are telling us. All right, so here, and let me clear the drawings here. Hold on. All right. Okay, so here was the non-farm. We see the quick move down, and then look at this move back up above it. Retest here, and off to the races to the upside here. Very, very strong move here. This was right before 9:30, and then let's zoom in here. 9:30 cash open, a little bit of back and forth in here, but just boom, right to the upside, to the upside, to the upside, still grinding. And still grinding in this area here. Starting to see the reversal possibly taking place now. All right, so let's zoom in here and let's look at the order flow and start to understand the trader's behavior. All right, and then we'll start to look at some levels of where it might come down to. All right, so for example, here we're already, let me fix this here. Hold on. Okay, we're just going to go to the default. Should go to the default there. Okay, let's try it again here. Okay, I don't know why that's not working. Anyway, we'll go with an orange line. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, what we want to understand on the move up here, all right, is there still momentum in this market? Are we still finding buyers? Are they struggling? We're up at a level where we are on our higher time frame. We're already considering here that although we see the strong momentum, that in this area here we are looking for some profit taking, and we're looking for a potential move back down into this price action in here. So let's look at the daily, or I'm sorry, the 15-minute here, and where we might go if we see that. Okay, we can even see a bit of a slowdown here. Okay, beautiful gap, gap and go, a little bit of a pullback here. Now this move here, okay, not as strong as this move previously. We covered this in the webinar on the price action. Okay, and now we're going to look at Bookmap and understand the price action here with the candles of just very simple reads in the candles here to what it might look like in the order flow. All right, so here it is here, and a strong move, lots of buyers, strong move, lots of buyers, some back and forth in here, but again, lots of buyers, a new high, making higher highs in here, and then look at the volume up here on the buy side compared to some of the other strong moves in here. Okay, it's starting to wane a little bit. All right, we got one last push here, and now we're starting to find some sellers come in. All right, where might they take it? All right, well, this would be hold on a minute, to some of these areas here. So let's see here. All right, yeah, we already came down to this 41.30. I'd be also looking for maybe down to this 26 level. See where the buyers came in. See the swing here where it retested. That's another area we'd look for. Also here, same ideas in here. Right now, what we're kind of outlining here is market structure, and we're looking for, if we are looking for pullbacks, we're looking for this reversal to take place here. Okay, and we'd be looking for and targeting these areas here, and we're looking for high liquidity at these areas, and I don't see much. Okay, most has been on the offer on the way up, and we also know that people have been getting filled on the way up. All right, so we're looking now for sellers to come in and trade into the liquidity here at this 30.25. Now, if we can get that and they can push through that, we're going to start to look for other areas. The only other areas of liquidity I see right now are 41.20 and then also this 41.16 here, which are important areas technically in here. As you can see, the kind of broke out from here. It's a little bit lower here, around 15 or so, but yeah, these are the areas that are significant in terms of the market structure. All right, so we can see the market structure in here. We can very easily draw up our rectangles here. Okay, this is the back and forth, this is the breakout, and again in here this is the back and forth, and then there's the breakout, and in here, okay, and in here. All right, this is very typical in the order flow. Now what we want to understand is the flow itself. All right, so for example, the aggressors, okay, we know that they are in control, moving this higher regardless of the fundamentals. Okay, that's what we want to see, is we want to see, regardless of the fundamentals, what do the players think of this market, what's the behavior in here, and you can see the nice move to the upside. All right, so now we're up at a level and we're looking for potential sellers starting to come in. Okay, we have a break of a trend line, and we do see some sellers come in. All right, now overall though, this is still bullish. All right, so we're looking to see if we get more sellers to drive this lower here, and it's really kind of muted at the moment. This is just a move down technically to this level here at 41.30, and we'd look for a potential bounce and maybe some back and forth in here. unless we get tons of sellers in here, and maybe we'll get that even right now. They've already traded into our level here. We're looking at 41.30, and now we want to see is the behavior. Okay, are there more sellers down here? This is our level. Okay, we got a pullback so far. Or do we see more buyers? Do we see more buyers up here? Look at the buying here. This is a really interesting area here. All right, this here, look at all of this buying in here, and we know that the buyers are in control. Why didn't this lift the market? Good morning, Shadow. Can we go over the liquidation traps at nano levels? Yeah, well, like the liquidation indicator, is that what you're talking about? Or just, I mean, we have actually, you know, here in Bookmap, we have a liquidation indicator. It's actually not working for me here at the moment right now, but it'll actually show the liquidations. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Anyway, let's move on. I'll wait for you to get back to me on that. Yes, exactly, AC. This is sell ice right here. This is sell ice. All right. Now they're above it. We see prices above it here. All right. But we know, and we can see it right here. Look at the icebergs in here. This is something that this behavior, it's great. This is transparency into the markets that we just don't have looking at your candlesticks, looking at whatever it might be. Okay, we now know we can draw this up that there is a lot of icebergs at this area here. All right, so let's draw it up right here. Oops. All right, 41.32. Okay, we know there are a lot of icebergs there. Let's put it on the icebergs. Let's turn on the iceberg on chart indicator. Okay, stops and icebergs on chart. Here we go. Okay, and we'll get some insight. Okay, I was demoing this the other day for Scott, so I have all icebergs showing. And let's use an automatic threshold. All right, that'll help. And let's also use it for here. There we go. That'll help. All right, there we go. Beautiful iceberg. Look at that. 2,550, 2,553. All right. So here's where that iceberg initiated over here. Okay, we can show the whole evolution of it. When it was detected right here with 53, it transacted. It stayed right at this price level after a stop run to the downside. We've covered this move many times. It's a pretty wicked move that you know, you'll see a stop run and then an iceberg right underneath it, so that they kind of keep the market from filling this kind of low volume gap in here. Because they're just going to get filled at this lower area here, and they're like guaranteeing a fill for themselves almost. Look at all the buyers come in and hit this, and this guy got his full size on here, iceberg. The E means executed, fully executed. All right, and look how the market has responded to it. Okay, this is really what we need to understand. The market is still found some buying pressure in here. All right, so it's still going to the upside. All right, so we're getting a retest back to the highs here. All right, now let's just zoom in here, because this is a really strange market. And let's try to understand the behavior in here. All right, so not bad on the sell side. Okay, we noted that. What we noted, we're also still bullish here. Okay, above this line of, we're just looking for that test into 130. And if there were more sellers to try to really drive it lower, I was anticipating a move kind of like this big one here, or, you know, big sharp move to drive it away from this area, and we didn't get that in the behavior. We got to move to the upside instead. So this market still has buyers in here. Crazy to me, but after, you know, understanding the fundamental data, like, boy, but whatever. this is where it does not matter. We go with who's controlling the market here. All right. If you are a fundamental trader and you're looking at the data over the last week or 2 weeks or whatever, and especially this morning's data, and you want to look for a sell side trade, well, then there is nothing you can do right now. Okay, this does not, the order flow does not align with the way you trade, so you would not be trading. All right, you would look for the behavior in here in the order flow to support your fundamental outlook. All right, so if you're more of a technical trader, you would not be so concerned about the fundamentals here. Right, so you'd be looking for just who's in control with the volume, who's in control with the order book in here, and then aligning your levels in here, and getting into certain positions and looking for taking your profits at certain areas. Okay. All right, so here we go. It's getting kind of interesting. So here's another grind up. Now we failed to make a higher high, only by a tick, but let's look at the volume in here as well. All right, this back and forth in here. All right, so some strong selling, also the strong buying, but does not matter, right? Because we have an iceberg on the other side. And then we found more buying back up above that iceberg here. All right, now we're looking at this kind of double top up here, and failed to make a higher high by a few ticks. And we can also see that some selling starting to come back in here. Okay, so let's see if we get more buyers back up here. Then we're going to get a move to 38 here. All right, I'm anticipating exhaustion here on the buy side, and I'm looking for sellers to start to come in. So I'm looking for the exhaustion up in this area here. Okay, a lack of buyers, and then I would be looking for sellers here. Okay, at 35. All right, let's see if we get it here. Okay, here, this could be exhaustion up here. Let's see. Okay, and I'm looking for sellers here at 35. If we get that, I'm looking for just to move down to the bottom of this small range here, 33.5 or 33. Maybe down to our 32 level here. Okay, I'm just targeting the swing and the liquidity here. Okay, now I have my reasons on this higher time frame. Okay, we've had a higher high up here, and then we see the sellers come in, and we get back up here, and we could not make a higher high. Okay, we are still finding buyers. See how we're looking for this scenario here, and it didn't play out, and that's fine. Okay, now there's another possible scenario here that might play out as a different variation of this. Okay, and a few different variations. Number one is a stop run like this, and then look for right below here. Now we're looking for our sellers down here. Okay, big red dots, and then to pull that market down lower. Okay, so that would be a scenario here. All right, so after the stop run here, we know it's a big stop run, no question about it. Okay, there's like 514 altogether. Okay, when we look at the aggregate there. Okay, so here we go. There's our big red dot. Okay, we're looking to go a little bit lower here, and more red dots though. Okay, otherwise we are still bullish until we see red dots below this 36 level here. Okay, so we hit right into that liquidity here at 38. I got to go through the opposite scenario as well, but we're going to continue on this sell scenario here at these levels here. First was sellers here after seeing exhaustion. We never got the sellers, right? The other one was something that the shadow here was talking about, is trapped buyers, okay? And we look for buyers to get initiated or to get involved into this market up in these levels up here, and then for them to feel the squeeze and the pain against them as it went away. All right, that would be the other scenario here. And then the third one was the one that was just playing out here, and we didn't get it either. Was the stop run, and then God, I'm really, it's been a long week, I guess. Is a lack of words in here. The vocabulary is just not coming to me. So what we're looking for is rejection up here, and then a move back into the range here. All right, and then the continuation to the downside. All right, so looking for that scenario here. Friday is kind of a tricky day. A lot of times you'll see a strong move like this, and it will continue until the afternoon, and then you'll get a strong move all the way back down, and it grinds all the way back down to like 4,100, or even before, even lower than that. All right, so yeah, that's a possible scenario here today. Okay, all right. So still watching this area up here, and what do we have here? So we had our stop run, we still went higher. Okay, we're still going higher here. All right, now is this going to be another stop run up into 40? Some of it, I bet. Okay, but I'm actually looking for new buyers to come in here, okay, and to get involved in these markets, and then to let them feel the pain once we can get below 38 here. Okay, so here we are up in the 40. There's 40. Okay, another stop run. Now, not as big as this one. Okay, big stop run there, really big. Okay, 555. Beautiful. Okay, now we have high liquidity here and at 38 and 40. I'm sorry, 38's down here, at 40 and 41, and big stop run. And we're just still finding buyers here. Okay, let's see if we get sellers right here. There they go at 40, or 40 and a half, I should say. Now, that's not a lot. This is not very convincing. There, that's a little bit better. Exhaustion here on the buy side. There's some more sellers. There's some more sellers. All right, sellers, let's see you try to take this down to 38. Uh, 37, maybe 35. Okay, now need to be careful here. All right, so there's our move down to, it's below 38 already. There's 37. Now, in my plan, I would take some off here. All right, and I would hold for a runner. And just so you guys know. All right, I don't know where I said, I think around 40 up in here. We saw this exhaustion, and then we saw these sellers here. So somewhere around in here, I think, just below, or yeah, just below 40. Let's suppose we're in here. Okay. And let's suppose we took partial profit here. All right. Let me move this up a little bit here because that's not quite right. I want to get kind of specific here. All right, so that looks good. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so now we took partial profit here, right? Now this is not a trade recommendation. I just want to go through reading the order flow and putting this together into a bigger plan and reducing risk along the way. Okay, because we went through the whole waiting and waiting and waiting, and there's still more buying pressure, still more buying pressure. We're still bullish. We're looking for the scenario in some of these areas here. Finally, we got something. All right, and we take some off here because we don't know if down here we still find more buyers to try to lift it back up. All right, now in this example, here's a possible way to consider managing this trade. All right, an equal rectangle here, and then let's move this back up. Okay, your stop can be up here. Okay, I would likely put my stop up here. All right, so here's why. I'm all thumbs today. I changed my shortcuts in here, and it's kind of screwing me up. But I'll show you how you can do that as well. Anyway, we yeah, see the buying pressure come in already. Okay, it's going to come right back to here where they dropped it, likely, right? And that I would be stopped out if I took my partial profit here. Okay, I'm looking at a bigger move here. I was looking for these scenarios on these higher time frames. Okay, up in here. Okay, around 34, 35. Even lower. I was thinking 31. It kept pushing. Okay, and it's still pushing even on the 15-minute here. Okay, I'm looking though for when the sellers start to come in, and now I'm recognizing that behavior. Okay, we recognized it over here. We recognize the iceberg, and there's more buyers back up above it. Okay, still looking for it back up to here, or after this stop run, we're looking for the same scenario here, and it didn't unfold. Then we got the same behavior yet again here. Okay, new highs, stop run, looking for our sellers in here. We got them. We're looking for it, move back down here and take some off and manage the trade. All right, so my stop would be up here. It would be at the overall break even because I already took half off down here at 36. Does that make sense to you guys? So here, I'm just going over a trading plan here, and this is a higher time frame plan. All right, because looking for like, if I get stopped out here, then what did I lose? Well, I can move my stop down just a little bit maybe. Let's just do that right here. I can move it down a tick. All right, so if I get stopped out here, I would make 1250 on one standard contract. All right, one E mini contract. All right, and then now what do I do now? All right, well, if I find another trade opportunity in here, I would get in. And I would add to it as a separate trade, but I would manage my stops according to that new trade. Okay, learn that from Scott Pulcini. He was on yesterday. Okay, it's a great way to manage your trades. Okay, so here we go. We're starting to see some sellers down here. Look at the buying that came in here, right? So sellers are in control from actually where we entered. Now this is a hypothetical trade, right? So this is not a trade recommendation. We're just going through an example here from higher time frame down into the order flow. Okay, we started off with the higher time frame today, did things a little bit differently, and we're looking for these levels up in here. Right now, we don't know. I mean, there all of a sudden might be even more buyers. Maybe it pushes up into here. Okay, it doesn't matter. we're just going to read the behavior in here. All right, let me get to some questions here. JK, newer trader, is a stop run likely a pullback? No, a stop run is it's basically a lot of retail traders, and I'm kind of paraphrasing to be more exact, like it is a stop order that is triggered, and usually it means it's a stop loss order, and then it triggers other stop loss orders along the way. So it's kind of like cascading. It is compelled buyers or sellers. So a stop run to the downside, or let's say a stop run to the upside here, because we got a beautiful few in here, just beautiful. This is like a cascading stop run in here. Okay, it cascaded through 1, 2, 3 ticks here. Okay, so what happened in here was the market went 1 tick higher. Okay, I'll show you. It went higher here. This next one here triggered a stop. Okay, this is a stop loss order here. Okay, it was in the queue, it was triggered, and it triggered a whole bunch of others. Okay, from 1, 2, and 3 levels here. Okay, for 419 contracts. Right, all of that data is in here. Okay, it's a, kind of it's a sweep of the order book here, and you can see that the best bid and offer update afterwards. So this kind of sweep of the order book higher in here triggered stops along the way, and that's what after those stops all triggered and were filled, then the best bid and offer update. Okay, and you can see the best bid offered. Best bid updated first, and then the best offer. All right, you can see the behavior in here. That's why it crossed over, which is impossible. It cannot cross over. Right. All right, let's see where we are now. They're just chopping in a range here. Okay, actually the range looks a little bullish here. We might come right back up to 39 here. All right, so anyway, for those of you looking for maybe a higher time frame trade, or it's a day trade here still, but you can also swing trade this way. Okay, for me this would be a day trade at least. I'm not going to hold it over the weekend. Right, yeah, so a little bit of bullish order flow in here, it looked like, or transactions. So we're back up here just above this little swing here, and we still see more buyers. Look at the buyers still coming in here. Right now we're up here to where we entered. Okay, short. You would like you might still be in it still. If you had your stop at break even plus 1 tick, you would have been stopped out most likely. Okay, in this case here is like I said, this is a bigger move for me, and I'm still at break even plus 1 tick up here at 43. Okay, now if I see more bullish order flow coming in here, I'm not gonna, I'll just take my profit. I'm not going to take a full stop unless I still believe in this this trade here. Something shows me in here. But if I see like very little selling here on this pullback, tons of buying, very little selling, and it comes back up here and tons of buying, like, yeah, for me, like it's just looking like it wants to come up and make a higher high here, and I would be out of that trade. I would get out probably around 40. Right, so then I might lose a tick or two on this initial trade here on that second leg. Right, so let's take a look here. Let's see if we can get back into the range, back down to this low here at 36.5 here. Looking for our sellers again down here, right around 38. Let's see, what are you saying here? The shadow looks like bidder's holding well, way better. Yeah, the bid has been strong, no doubt. Let me go over to Discord. Sorry, guys. What do we got here? Good morning, Hector, Marcelos, and Rob. 43 is the naked VPOC. Okay, it's a little bit higher. So that's right where my stop would be. Marcelos, let's see. You're wondering if your interpretation of algo engineering liquidity to make bigger move is correct. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to have to pop this out into another tab. Yeah, I mean, here's the potential trap right in here, right? You get the move back down in here into, and this is a great area for support right here at 30. Okay, I think we were just going through this, right? And then if you can get back up above these guys right here, it looks really good for a squeeze to the upside. Yeah. Oh yeah, this was the bigger. This is where the seller started to come in. Yeah. And we mentioned we're just looking for 30, and we were looking for. Let's go back and revisit it because now we have the data and the information. We were looking for the potential for it to drop below 30 though on heavy selling because we know the sellers are coming in, and we also know over here that a lot of liquidity is getting filled on the bid. Okay, so I was looking for this to be the bigger trap here, and on the buy side, and then looking for the move away from 30 here as the potential scenario. I hope I'm going through this and answering your question, Marcelo. Okay, so let's take a look at that area here because oh, what we got, interesting. Yeah, so yeah, that's where, so after that it looked really good in your image there to, like, I mean, just look at this here. Right, there's some sellers in here that are their stop loss orders, but if we can get back up above 32, the squeeze is on. And what happened here, this was really interesting. What we had instead was after this quick move to the downside, the buyers actually do fill it here a little bit back to where it dropped from quickly, and then someone came in and swept the book lower right here. Okay, how many? Quite a few transactions in here. Hundreds, right? And we're able to sweep the book like a full point or more, and then they put their iceberg down here. Okay, at this 32 level. Okay, that's what we noted. Interesting behavior, and then we got the squeeze even after the iceberg. Okay, so what we were looking for here and the squeeze higher, what we're just covering, didn't unfold. In fact, there was more kind of support for a move lower here, or more resistance, I should say, due to the iceberg. Didn't matter. Buyers got back up above it, and the squeeze is on, right? And then here's our squeeze, here and here, right? Okay. So yeah, now we're starting to see some weakness in here. Looking for these sellers to drop it down to 35. Right, and let's go revisit this down here, also our 32 area. Okay, so 34 is also a swing down here, but yeah, let's look for 35 first, and then let's see if we can continue on. Okay, now I kind of missed it. The potential pullback here to look for. Very careful here though, very careful. If this is an add-in here, yeah, you'd want to get in right around this area if you could at 37. I don't think that would have been possible at all, but you could have gotten in at 36 and a half, 3/4. And then looking for our sellers again here to take it lower. Now this is, kind of dangerous stuff in my opinion, because you're selling at the low here. The order flow looks good, or the transactions look good for the move to continue. It's a pullback. The one thing that I just don't like about it is that it didn't really move very many points here, just a couple of points, and then you're open for that squeeze to the upside. All right, so do you want to add into a trade like that? And then, if you're looking for the bigger move, yes, you would probably, God, boy, I should not say this. If you're it's not a recommendation. What we're covering is a scenario here, and your scenario is you're day trading for the bigger picture here. Also, maybe you're aligning it with your fundamental outlook, right? And you do see the behavior supporting your fundamental outlook. So this little pullback would be an opportunity for you then. Okay, and then now you're going to have to manage your trade though differently, okay, because your stop isn't up here anymore. All right, so suppose you got in here. Let's see, on that little pullback, let's say right in here, okay, around 36. Let's just call it 36 and a half. Yeah, so now your overall break even is not going to be up here. It's going to be lowered. It's going to be back to here basically. It's going to be a little lower than that probably. Okay, it's probably going to be about here. Okay, around 39 or so, 39 and a half, somewhere around there. All right, so that's how that would be your break even. It's up to you how you want to manage it. If you want to take a small stop loss on it, then that's that. But you just added more risk into the trade here. All right, and then see the danger here. Like there's the potential to squeeze right back up to the top of the range, or even wherever it might go. Right. So however, if you have an outlook, then you stick with your plan. Okay. Okay, and this is your bigger picture plan. You can also just take a small loss on that one and look for it again. I would stick with it a little bit longer. Personally, I would, just because I would look for the squeeze above 38. We got a trend line here as well, and we got the swing up here, 38 and a quarter. Okay, so now we're looking to see if we can get sellers below what we kind of have here as our pivot point. Our pivot point is this line right here. Okay, at 36 and a half. Okay, here's where there was a swing low. Here's the break below it, the pull back to it, and then now the break back up above it. All right, makes sense. Also about your trade management in here, if this is the case, that let's go through just that scenario here, that hypothetical scenario in here, that you added more risk in here. You added to your trade. You're scaling into it. You're not scaling into a loss. You're scaling into a gainer. All right. So if that is the case, then yeah. How do you want to manage this? Do you want to still take some risk, or do you want to get stopped out at break even? You gave it a shot. You're looking for this to work, and it's not. Then how do you want to manage it? These are kind of personal questions that you have to come up with an answer for yourself. Okay, this is why I'll be honest that I don't know if Alan is in here, um, but Alan was asking very early on, years ago, in fact. He's like, "Well, that's great, Bruce, but like, how do you manage the trade?" You know, and so we're going through it in detail and more advanced kind of scenario in here. Uh, just starting off though, the easiest way to do this is if this was the opportunity that we saw here, get in and take it off down here. Okay, and that's it, or this swing here. So and then look for the next one, right? Build confidence, understand what you're looking at, and then now once you built that confidence, then you can consider all sorts of other ways to manage, scaling in, scaling out, uh, you know, even adding to losers if that is a part of your plan, you do not have full risk on. All right, so for example, let's suppose that you I don't know, maybe you got into, let's suppose you got duped into it down here. All right, let's suppose that it went down a little bit lower in here and you found your sellers, okay, and you got in here around this 30, let's call it 36. But you got in like a half position or a quarter position or a third position, something like that. Well, you can still add to it. Okay, when you have full risk on, maybe it's up in here is where you get stopped out. Okay, so that's a very tricky thing to do as well, because it's so emotional. All right, looks like these buyers want to take it higher yet again. Okay, right back up here to maybe 42 and a quarter. Looks like it. Okay, they broke this little trend line that we drew up here, and there's buyers back up above it and buyers back up above it here, but we are right back up to the swing here. All right, let me get back to some questions here. The plan was not just short thanks to Apple. Yeah, Apple earnings yesterday. Let's take a quick look over at Apple. It's probably been driving the market here. Yeah, potentially. Apple and Microsoft. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft too. Not Rhythmic, DX feed. Boy, high liquidity getting a really nice chart here. High liquidity up here at 10. Okay, just also filled here at 9. It looks like. Yep, still bullish. This is still bullish. Microsoft is. Let's take a look at Apple as well. It is definitely still bullish. Right, so yeah, here's our kind of channel. Okay, we're right in the middle of it. Okay, so this is an earnings move more than anything else, and some technical stuff going on. Let's go back, revisit our plan here, or our bigger picture here. Yeah, see how we were prepared and looking for this move in here for this potential reversal, and now we're seeing some buyers back up above this area here. Okay. Well, let's see right now, do we get a whole lot of buyers up above this level here? Not bad. Not bad. Okay, we get a little bit higher here at 40. Then I'd be looking for them to take it to 42 and a quarter to 44. Let's see what 45 or 50 looks like. Some up here at 50 as well. I'm going to show you. I showed this to you guys the other day. Another heat map here, a different model completely though, which is amazing though. I've always been amazed by this. They've had it for years. FinViz. Here's Apple. Here's Microsoft in the technology field. Okay, this is the S&P 500 here. Out of the 500 stocks in here, look who's dominating. Okay, these two. Okay, even Google is quite a bit smaller. Quite a bit smaller. Even Amazon, even Tesla, these are all quite a bit smaller than just Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft and Google are the big gorillas in here. All right, guys. So someone wanted to move the market away. Nice move here. Okay, so really see how adding into this here really makes things a lot more emotional. Did you hold it? Did you get stopped out at overall? Or are you still in it with your original position and you didn't go for the scaling in here? So hard to catch these here because this is just a very quick move here. Okay, by a larger player. And or several larger players just dumping. Okay, and they're moving the market away. Okay, it's from 37 38 down to 34. This is a huge move, or 30. Let's just call it 35. So that's 3 points. It's a bit more, and it's just one big move though. All right, this has shifted the market away. Okay, we are now down below 35. Okay, we'll probably get a retest back to 35, I imagine, but I don't know if we're going to come back to 38. Okay, so this is a key shift in the market right now. Okay, and this is something we were looking for earlier over, well, many of them. We actually started looking for it over here. And didn't see it, didn't take it, didn't see it, didn't take it, took it up here as a hypothetical trade due to the behavior in the order flow here, understanding them getting filled in here, understanding the stop run, understanding when the sellers are starting to come in, and then take some off down at the bottom of the range. Okay, and now manage the trade. Okay, our stop would still be up here around this 42 3/4 or so, and now we've come down to 32.5. Okay, here's our pullback to 35, 36, a little bit higher. Yikes. Same guy, same behavior, it looks like to me. See it again, another iceberg in here after the big move down. Okay, this is it's a new tactic we've seen here by larger players, clearly larger players. They'll just hit market sell and then get their iceberg filled here. They don't have to spoof. They just move the market, shift it away, and get filled. All right, let's take a look at that and let's mark it up here. Let's see, horizontal line right here. Okay, so 35, and where else? Also down here at 32. So 35 and 32. That's where these guys have quite a few contracts in position in the market. Okay, now what if we average that cost? 35 and 32, that's 3 points. So if we just subtract from 35 1.5, we're at 33.5. Okay, they would be in profit. This player here would be in profit at 33.5. Something like that. It's not quite right. No, actually it's not right. It would have to be a little bit lower because they have bigger size on this one here than this one. So yeah, we can call it, let's just call it 33. Nonetheless, look at the market's right back up to where it dropped from. Okay, again, looking for sellers up here though. Okay, and this is again like this is the big shift, right? This is who's dominating the market now. Okay, in this time frame. Okay, now we're looking for sellers to keep it below this area here. We got to go through the other scenario here though, and that would be if the buyers can get on the other side of it. Okay, with a lot of buying pressure, the order book looks good, and we get a move back up. Okay, so that's the other scenario here. Okay, primary scenario though is we are still looking for sellers here and in here, and then the move lower back down to our 30. Okay, primary scenario. AC, I think it's why would they get filled like that? I mean, I think it's just to kind of guarantee the fill. And if that's the level that they are happy with, they don't have to worry about. It's almost like it's a guarantee to get on that much size, you know, pretty easily. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's wicked as can be, but it's pretty good strategy. You know, move the market and then just, you know, it's like put the knife in and then twist it. Now, it takes a lot of money to do this, no question about it. And that's why we're looking for the control to be from this point onward, right? Because here's the move. Look at all these contracts in here, and you know, thousands, or yeah, thousands. So just within here, I'm not going to add them all up, but you can see like just within let's see here, 250 to 400 or 500, so 250 milliseconds. So that's a little bit more. 200 milliseconds is a blink of a human eye, so it's a little bit longer than that. That's how quickly this transaction took place. And then the iceberg getting filled, you can see that took a lot longer, but it's just a couple seconds basically. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's about 10 seconds. Yeah. And a stop run right after that. Yikes. Oh, it's only 82. Okay. All right. Okay. So this was our primary scenario, guys. So, we had to cover the secondary, this one. But the primary scenario was because these guys moved it away. We're looking for it to trade within this range until something else happens. If these sellers would want out, how would it look like? It would be you would see it kind of like this. Hold on. Right, you'd see these big kind of sweeps and a stop run in here, a cascading stop run, something like that. And what's really interesting or fascinating about it, and this goes back to, I think AC was asking for the liquidation indicator, which I'm sorry I cannot demo today. But from the we have actual liquidations in Bitcoin, or the currencies, cryptocurrencies, and you can see where the exchange is actually closing people's account because they hit margin and their account is being liquidated. All right, so that's much worse than a stop run. Stop run, like, yeah, okay, you take a loss. It might be a small loss. However, if it's liquidations, or maybe it was shadow, maybe you were talking about it. You're welcome. The A stop run, though, like, everyone takes stops. Us retail traders, and that's fine. Manage them well, and we're fine. But it's a part of the business, right? But a liquidation, that means that you had so much leverage that you over leveraged, and you have no more money left. You never got out of the market, and the exchange actually closes it because they're not going to cover the margin for you. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I mean, we're range bound between these points that we kind of drew up of, like, who's in control, and based off of this here and that larger player moving that market, and this swing down to the low here. And you can even see an iceberg there, buying. Only 9 have gotten filled here. Okay, 4 separate events, but only 9 got filled. Okay, still looking bearish, actually. Would be really nice and bearish if we can get below this guy, or this little area right here. So it's at 34 on some selling. Okay, then I would look for the continuation of the trend. I'm breaking this swing here. Okay, at 32. Okay, so again, this is rather fractal in what I'm talking about here. This is where the larger player came in. This is where they moved it. Well, they moved it originally here. The market went lower, and then came all the way back up to 38 and tested them again. Could not get through, and then we can see that yeah, this is tricky up here, I have to say. Like, looked kind of good in here for them to try to drive it higher, and then exhausts here, and then looking for more buyers up in here then on that scenario for the move higher. The buyers did come in here, but they're still kind of lower. They're failing to move it higher. We see the sellers come in. Now we're seeing sellers down here. Now it's okay for them to move, or this market to move back down to the bottom of this little range, and then this range here. Okay, or maybe even here. I would look for it. It went all the way back down to the swing, which is good if you're bearish. Okay, so it made an equal low. Now we want to see it make a lower low. Okay, and it made a lower high in here so far. But the fractal nature that I wanted to cover, this is the big fractal here, okay, on this smaller time frame. And then here's well, there are many others, but the one that I'm kind of concerned about is this one in here. Okay, it's not a whole lot of buying, right? But now we're trading between that range, right, where the buyers are trying to, like, get some traction here. Okay, and within this area here, it's looking pretty good. As I say that, it just pops up to the top here. Now, do they have enough to break it? We'll see. Book looks pretty good. We're getting buyers. There we go, though. Now, see what happened. The book looked good. You got a few buyers in here. Now these guys pull, and we get some sellers in here. So this is more like a spoof here. All right, they did not stay in the order book and get filled. Okay, so now what we're looking for is exhaustion here, a little more selling at 35, and we can come right back down to our 33 and 32. And no selling at 35. All right, let's see if we get our 35 selling here. It's kind of a tricky read, but still looking for just that scenario here. See how we just didn't get sellers there yet again. We're back up here with not a whole lot of buying either. There's our exhaustion if it can hold. Okay, do we get sellers even at 35.5? Yeah, okay, they should be able to take it down to 35. Should be able to take it down to 35. It's just a couple ticks, but all right, so yeah, there we go. So now a little bit lower, and then let's see if we get sellers at 35. Okay, then the likely scenario is we'll trade back down to 33.5, and then maybe 32. And now we don't have the order book on our side here, even if we get sellers at 35. We want to see more liquidity over on the offer, and then we want to see these guys pull at 34.5. I think they're going to pull. They pulled earlier over here, so I don't think they mean business. All right, well, we gotta move lower here. It's not convincing selling, though. This is that. There it is. That looks better. All right, so there we go. So let's see if they can. We'll look for the drop here to 33.5, and then 32. All right, and anyway, I'm again not trade recommendations, but it's just reading the order flow and the behavior in here on the very small time frame, and this is no different than what we did here on the big time frame. Okay, on the higher time frame, looking at this area up in here. Okay, which in this trade example, hypothetical example here, stop is still up here at break even, and you'd still be in this. All right, so yeah, we did not get even the move down here to 33.5, and now we got buyers here. See how, like, Gary Norden mentioned something about this, which I thought was interesting to hear. I've heard others talk about this. He won't talk about his trading style. He has a very particular method, and he won't divulge about it. If you're interested in it, you can reach out to Gary, and he wants to be fair to his the people that do take his course, which I really respect. So if you're interested in that, you can go talk to him, or reach out, and we can also send you the link. However, what he mentioned was, he's looking for picking off some of the smaller players. And then he's looking for having them, force them out of the trade. Okay, and he's waiting for them to get it wrong. They're easy pickings, and then he'll take their money. All right. And he did mention something that I thought was interesting was, well, I go, well, this is very high probability setup. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's, in the 80s or so, something like that, 70s, 80s. But he was mentioning that, well, what happens is that you might be picking some of these guys off up here. Okay, we got the exhaustion, but you don't want to be part of the business for the opposite direction. And that's exactly what's happening here. All right, so we have our move back to 38 now. All right, so what I mean to say here is this. Okay, we're very carefully looking at this due to this move down lower, this swing up here, and then we're watching for exhaustion in here. We did get some of that, and we looking for our sellers around this 35. We started to get it, and then now we're looking for the drop lower. Now what we need in here too is that order book to help us, but then to also understand who's the business here, who's going to be compelled, who's forced to sell. Well, we're looking for these buyers to be forced to sell. Okay, and they're not. It's actually what is being forced to sell, or what is the opposite. What is being forced here are these sellers. They are forced to buy. Okay, we should see stop runs to the upside here. All right, so in this case here, this is why if you get involved in a trade and you're looking for this to unfold and it doesn't get out, because you don't want this to happen to you, just get out. It might even just kind of go above here, reject, and get tons of sellers and come right back down. But that's a different scenario. You're looking for this scenario to work right here, right now. It should. If it doesn't, then get out. Okay, this is a great way to protect your account. Right? So yeah, get caught up in it. We're going with the direction here in this fractal of we're going with this, the bigger fractal here, right? And then we talked about this smaller fractal here of the buyers. Okay, and we're waiting for them to get kind of upended here, and just looking for a move down here to 33.5, and then looking for a lot more below 33.5. So think about it again, the scenario here of all of this buying in here, they're going to be really forced to sell below 33.5. So we're just looking for the move down to 33.5, maybe take some off there, and then looking for continuation. All right, makes sense. A lot of trade management stuff today, and in fact, we can even still look at this in this bigger fractal here from 1110, and that when that larger player came in. Okay, so think about it again here. Right, so are these sellers still in control? From this point on, they are. It's actually we drew it up here, but it's actually from right here, and they got tested just now. Right up here, see the selling? Okay, we'd like to see it below the swing, and then and then it really pick up. But when we drew it up here, and we got it back up above that. Okay, and we have some stop runs above it. So now I'm looking for any of these buyers in here to feel the pain and squeeze if we can get down to some of these areas here. And what do we look for? All right, well, we start to look for, first off, these buyers up here to be trapped. Then we're looking for a retest, exhaustion, and then sellers down in these areas here. We're getting it actually. So great. Okay. Well, then let's see the sellers break through this 36.5 and come right back down to 35. Okay. Now, what we don't have in here is these guys are actually staying in the order book here. So we don't have all the pieces. Okay, unless the sellers take them on and trade into and through this 36.5. And you can see they're not. They're trading into it here, but they haven't traded through it. There they go. There they go. Okay. All right, sellers. Now let's see if you should be able to drop this down to 35. Okay. Now all of these buyers up in here are going to feel the pain. Okay. Now the opposite scenario, like we just covered, is these sellers in here feeling the pain on the way back up. Right. So we don't want to get caught up in that. If we get buyers up in here, exit the trade. Right. That would be a suggestion. Okay, this is not a trading room in here. So there you go. I would exit. You know, don't get caught up in the squeeze. Okay, just look for another one, another opportunity in here. This opportunity is still here if these guys fail up here and it comes back down to 36.5. In fact, if you're really good, and suppose that you're looking for the squeeze here from these buyers and the short squeeze, or I'm sorry, the long squeeze, then but you're not getting it, and then you're feeling you're going to get hit on the other side here, you can reverse and go with that squeeze. Okay, this would be a good or possible way to just hit that reverse button, which would close your trade, all your trades, and then reverse or go the opposite direction. These kinds of squeezes happen all day long. It's a big driver of the market. Okay, and then we can see it in the stops and icebergs. All right, guys. So let's see. I came in a little bit late. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it here. Is there enough in here? Yeah, I mean, it really has to be down here at 36.5 for the bigger move here. I like it. It's setting up. There we go. All right, so now we have the order book on our side as well. Look at that. See them on the offer? We're looking for our sellers here. They're not on the bid. They're down here at 35 and 33 on the bid. So now this looks better. Okay, the order flow looks better. We also have now these guys feeling the pain. Okay, for the move back down into here. Quick retest back here. Let's see it again here. So that would be an opportunity, a potential opportunity for your pullback as well. Okay, now looking for the sellers and then looking for the drop. Okay, and then just manage it. Okay, we're looking for this to work right now. Okay, we got enough sellers. Should be able to drop it into 35. Okay, and then let's see, where was it? It's down here. Yeah, if we can get down below these 33, this 33.5, I'm looking for the test down into 33 here. Yeah, right here is where these buyers came in. So I don't know. It's a little shy to take some off immediately there, but it's only a point and a half. If it helps build confidence, go for it. Okay, but don't take a very small loss, if a loss at all. Okay, this should work now. Yeah, out. Gave it a shot, didn't work. Okay, another potential setup though coming as well. This was much better. We had a lot more in here. We had the order book on our side. We had the sellers come in. We had them pulling liquidity. It was down at 35. Okay, so we had a lot more going for it. And then it's just back and forth in here. No, Michael, this is our course. Let me show you, Michael. I don't sell a course or anything like that. We're doing it all here. Deborah, you're the worst at entries and exits. You know what, Deborah? I would say like try this. I would really suggest this. Right now, do it in sim, of course, until you can build confidence. Work on. Sorry, guys, I'm going to go a few more minutes. I know that Tom has started, but I do want to go over a few of these things, and I see some of the questions in here. Yeah, I can probably provide you the link for Gary's. Why don't I show that first? Just go to our YouTube channel, okay, and scroll down here. Here's Gary's webinars here. There's a whole series on it as well. We put it into a playlist. So you can just click on playlists, in fact, and then look for Gary Norden in here. Oops, I think it's here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I'll put this into the chat for you. So there's four webinars in here with Gary. All right. Here's Gary's. Yeah, I mean, Michael, we believe in what we're doing here. I am convinced that the market's on the smallest time frame here. It's all order flow, and transactions to the highest time frames. Okay, I view the markets exactly the same way, even if it was a monthly chart. Okay, I want to see if it's rejection down here, or if I want to see if there's absorption down here, or exhaustion. Maybe it absorbed here a ton. Maybe it exhausted here. You know, this is a different context. This is a higher time frame on the daily here. All right. So I'm convinced by it though, and I think these markets behave the same way. So let me show you something then here. Go to bookmap.com, click on the More button, and go to the new Learning Center we put together here. Okay, we have 6 courses. We have our streaming events. We have our calendar, all here. Okay, so you can join into the webinars on our Discord and YouTube, and then Get Connected is here. Okay, new videos on getting connected to Bookmap with the data provider. The Getting Started course here. Let me show you this. We've just put this together. This will answer most of your questions about like time frames, zooming and navigating, recentering horizontally, recentering vertically, synchronizing your chart. We have all these videos in here. Okay, so this should answer your question on how to use Bookmap. Now, the market mechanics course is what I wanted to get to. So click on this. There are 4 videos in here. They're about an hour long each, and we go through the market mechanics. Now, this is an older course from 2018. However, it does not matter. This is evergreen content. You can see and understand diagrams like this, like what makes the market actually move, what's happening on the most binary level. Understand these things, and that happens on the highest time frame level as well. All right, so that's what I would recommend. It is all free, and then you can come and learn more in these webinars here. All right, so let me get back to Deborah's question, yeah, and come to our Discord channel. We have streamers all day long, Michael. Go check it out. One more thing, Deborah. All right, so let's do this. All right, so we went through all sorts of different scenarios in here. Our higher time frame scenario is still playing out. Stops up here around 43, and looking good. But you know, where is it going to go? Who knows? You know, look for your levels in here. 30 was a big one. All right. And then we marked up some of these others in here as well. So we have around 26, we have 22, and we have all the way down to this 15 as well. All right. So yeah, in fact, I would not be surprised, you know, to see it come down to even 4,100 here. You know, these days, like 34 points is a lot. Not too many months ago, 34 points happened in about 15 minutes. Right. So you know, keep it in mind in here. But yeah, due to the fundamentals and this kind of squeeze to the upside, yeah, I could very easily, I mean, easily can come back down into these levels here. Get everyone going the wrong way, just like the squeezes we were talking about on the short time frames. We can look for the squeezes on the higher time frames, and it grind against people all day long. All right, let's get back to Deborah's question. I'm going to clear all the drawings here, and I'm going to take stops. I'm going to take all of these things off the chart here. Okay, so we'll take stops and icebergs off the chart to begin with. And then we're going to take off the volume dots and the heat map. Okay, this is one of the simplest views of the market you're going to get. All right, so Deborah, this is for you. What we want to understand here is market structure. All right, you know, one of our streamers, John Slazas, who's on Tuesdays at 1 p.m., is an expert on market structure. Okay, what we want to understand is and start drawing up some lines in here. Okay, like here or up here. All right, you can even draw your diagonal lines in here. Okay, so like here, it's still holding pretty nicely. Now it's starting to grind. Okay, so it looks good to test down here, right? To 32. Looks good to break here at our, we're finally getting our move. It looks really good. Should it just by looking at market structure, I'd be looking for it to come down to here to 32. Start to understand the market structure. You can look up several webinars on this, Deborah, and then what to do here about your entries. So where would you want to enter on this? Okay, well, look for a pullback here. You have two reasons to look for a pullback to here. Okay, you have this market structural in the diagonal. Okay, you have that. You also have a line going across here. Right, this would be your entry. Okay, now this is why you want to be really careful with it, is because you want to look at other factors in here. Right, you want to look at your volume, you want to look at your heat map. Right, this is not the full picture. Right, that's why we look for, you know, big buyers up in here. We go through those scenarios, but consider this though in sim and go through and just start to understand how you're going to manage your market structure. Right, so maybe there's another one up here. All right, the swing up here, or you know, maybe you're looking at the higher time frame, like this diagonal line up here. Okay, start and do this in replay mode. Why not record your data and then go back and just do this, and then look for, you know, your entries in some of these areas in here, and how you'd manage your trade. Okay, just market structure. That's it. Okay, support and resistance areas. Okay, keep it really simple. All right, and then also your targets, not only stop losses but targets. That'll come later. That's more complex, but you will find yourself getting into much better trades. Right, now what we do in here though is look at the order flow at these levels. Okay, on all, you know, we're looking at, like, you know, maybe these are some, you know, goofy lines in here on these lower time frames. just to demo this point. All right, look at more important ones. Like more important ones would be like that volume that we saw, that larger player that moved that market, shifted it away at 38, right in here, right? Well, yeah, it went above it for a little bit, but it's pretty much dominating this market still, right? And look for those areas. Now, just start to understand some of these areas in here, right? So now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for a pullback, fading the outside edges in here, trading it back down into the middle or the other side of the edge. Okay, the bottom edge, right? Now in here, okay, so for example, this turned out, this one didn't turn out very well, okay, but this one turned out pretty well. Right now, where are you looking for it to go? Maybe it's going to chop in here now. So you got one in here, maybe it just chops in here. So take some off here. At the bottom, this might be a new range that's starting. Take some off. Okay, stop at break even. And let's suppose you got in up here. Beautiful entry. Your stop's up here. Okay. So just start with this. Right now, what you're going to start to understand with going through this exercise in here is you're going to understand areas of support and resistance and market structure, and you're going to start to understand how the market behaves around those areas. Okay, now the details are going to come when the next level is turned on. Okay, but I just stick with this for now. But as you know, in these webinars, what we do is we look at the market structure first, then we look at the volume within that structure, and then we look at the order book within that structure to give us much deeper insight, and then we look at stops and icebergs, etc. All right, so then we get into these concepts of absorption, exhaustion, etc. Okay, that can all happen later. In fact, heck, you could probably even just stick with this as a trading plan if you manage it well. All right, so just look at these simple little areas in here. Understand market structure. It is that important. Okay, but see how the depth, like how many people knew this that didn't have Bookmap? How many people are looking at this shift here? How would you know that? How would you know that there was all these icebergs in here when we said even 35 was our other area in here? I think, was it 35, or I think it might have been down here. It looks like it's here to me, 32. Maybe it was here. I can't recall where that other iceberg was filled. Maybe it was here, but they shifted away and then iceberg 2500 got filled. I think, yeah, it was down here, 32. We said between 35 and 32, and then our 33 was where they'd be in profit, right? Okay, see, Deborah, suppose you got in here. Okay, so suppose you got this one here and you got stopped out for a couple ticks, right? You have to learn how to take your loss. That's imperative. That would be the first thing to do. Learn how to, if you're going to trade it, this is your area here. You have your reasons for it just based off of market structure. You're looking now for it to trade back down. Okay, take your loss, take it on the chin, look for the next one. Next one's here, and then take some off here. All right, so now maybe you're at break even now because you took some off here, and then came up here and stopped you out at break even now too. Now you've taken 3 trades, but you're basically break even. All right, well, you get one of these to work in here, then you're going to be in profit. Look, it's just don't worry about the trade management so much. Worry about market structure. You understand market structure, and then the volume and the order flow within it, you really got something. Okay, on all time frames. Does not matter. Guys, if you like this, please hit the like button. It's something that's important for us. We want to know that we're creating good content for you guys. And let's recap here and talk about some of the things that we looked at. All right, and then we got to go. This has been going on way too long. Let me just answer any more questions here. What kind of indicators? Yeah, so World Kings, talk about indicators. We just kind of denounced all the indicators except for maybe stops and icebergs. That just gave us deeper insight. We're just looking at areas of market structure. Okay, and then what we want to understand is the participants' behavior around those market structural areas. That's really the key. All right, and let me put that link into the Learning Center here as well. I think the link is going to change here soon to Learning Center. It's just learning right now. There you go. All right. How do you feel data gaps when you close and open? Okay. Yeah, go back here, just zoom all the way out, and then click on this here. This little, well, here, let me show you it's in the Learning Center. Yeah, in fact, this is one of the videos that we tried this AI voice. So go to displaying elements here. Go to Learning Center, getting started, displaying elements, backfill data. I'll put this into the chat for you, and that'll answer your question. All right. So it's only 2 minutes, 16 seconds. Here you go. Oh, sure, Michael. Yeah, well, we're on a few different topics. Deborah's question there. I understand. I feel the pain. So just start to understand market structure. It is that important. You could just do it all day long. You can do it on all time frames. Look how this event down here, our non-farm, one of the biggest fundamental events in the market. It's right down here. Okay, look at the back and forth here, and this is again market structure. Look at it. Above, back to it, bounces off of it, comes back up. Beautiful. Okay, so you know this happens on all time frames. Okay, we can jump over and take a look at well, we talked about this gap here very early on in the webinar. I think this is trap volume. Okay, here's the squeeze right here. I mean, these look at this island. It's called an island gap, right? You can see it. There's the gap down. Looks like the market's going to take off to the downside. There's the gap up. Yikes! I'm caught. Right. So you know, who knows? We were looking for around this 33 or 31 area here. It went up above it. It went up to 40, and then now we're starting to see some sellers. Okay. So yeah, even on this 15-minute, I'm still looking for this move here to 30, 31. Okay, because look at the wicks there, and we see the selling coming in. This is enough selling pressure. It should be enough selling pressure to trade down to like this 31 3/4 or maybe 30 29 and a half, somewhere around in here. Okay, there's enough in there. That's what it looks like to me. It failed to make highs. We see the sellers move it. We saw the seller move it right here. All right. Yeah, and this is where, like, you know, what we're trying to say here in you know, or teach is, so the supply and demand, or support and resistance, or candlestick patterns, or whatever it might be, is only giving you a sliver of the pie here. And there's all sorts of content out there talking about this and that and why it works and why it doesn't, and then getting some oscillator to try to tell you that, yeah, it's oscillating this way and that way because of the highs and lows, and it's a derivative. Instead, we want to understand the real data in here. Okay, the actual in this case, we could actually read the trader, and we want to understand the volume and where is it transacting. We want to understand who's taking the other side of the trade. Okay, so look at the move into 33 that finally unfolded, right? Finally unfolded. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, like Deborah, like you would have been stopped out on this one. You would have gotten in here, you would have taken some off, and you would have been at break even, and you would have put this at break even, and then that you'd still be at break even though this move finally worked out. So what? You're at break even, right? Now, if you're playing a different time frame, then that's something else as well. Like what we were doing, we were in up here, and our stops up here someplace, 43, I think, overall break even, above the swing high. Okay, so different time frame, different way of managing, or basically the same way of managing it, but with a gain in this case. All right, well, anyway, let's go. It's been a couple hours now, since 10. I haven't gone this long in quite a while, and it's unfair to Tom and the others. So thanks everybody for coming. Have a great weekend. I hope this was helpful. Please hit the like button. That really helps us. And we will come back, and guys, I'll answer your questions over in Discord. I'm sorry. Just got caught up in some questions there in YouTube with Deborah and a few of the other people there. All right, thanks everybody, and we'll catch up with you next Monday. Okay, have a good weekend.